What's up, y'all? It's your girl QueensteezTV, and I am back with another video. So I know y'all already seen the title, so y'all know I'm about to drop some tea with this story time. Y'all know it's always something, like very much something going on. So if y'all want to know how this boy was stalking me, then make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the video. If this is your first time over here at QueensteezTV, hit that subscribe button. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. But for all my returning Steez, Kings, and Queens, welcome back, y'all. So let's get into it.
I'm so cute. You be dragging on this beat.
So y'all, this took place back when I was in undergrad. Remember I told y'all in my previous story time where one of my co-workers' girlfriend was trying to stab me? Y'all, this took place at this job. So y'all know I used to work at the mall. For the people who just get in here, y'all, I used to work at Mondawmin Mall. If you from Baltimore, y'all already know what it's giving. Mondawmin is the hub of, you know, of like Baltimore. If you're not from Baltimore or Maryland area and you don't know about Mondawmin, Google Mondawmin. That's one of the highest grossing cash malls, one of the richest malls ever, okay? So it's giving where the hood brothers at, okay? So yo, I mean, everybody was coming through. This was one of the funnest jobs that I ever had. And I worked in a sneaker store. I like shoes, y'all can tell. So, you know, if you haven't, if you just coming back, y'all know, go check out my little sneaker reviews. Y'all know I get y'all the tea of what cute lady sneakers to get. But yeah, y'all, this was the funnest job ever. So I used to come in contact with all types of people. So, okay, y'all, like, I play so much to, like, sometimes I can't even catch myself, right? So this particular day, like, and nobody get offended, but y'all, I just couldn't help myself. So so this lady had came in, right? And I think she was like African or something. And she was like, do you all have a fitting room? So before I could like stop myself, I was like, no, we don't have a fitting room. Why I did that, like, yo, literally in the middle of me talking, like my brain was telling my mouth to shut up, but my mouth was already talking like way ahead. And then like my coworkers was looking at me like what is wrong with you? And I was like, yo, I was like telling myself like to shut up, but it came out too fast. So I was like, yo, I really need to chill. I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, you're crazy, you're ridiculous. So anyway, y'all, so while the lady was still in the store, I had to keep talking like that, duh, so she wouldn't think that I was mocking her. I really was not mocking her, but I didn't want her to think I was mocking her, so I had to keep talking like that. I'm so ridiculous. I'm so ridiculous. But y'all, alright, so meanwhile, while the lady's still in there, I'm literally just like waiting for her to leave, because I'm like, she needs to leave so I can stop talking in this accent. So when she I think she checked out or whatever. So this guy came in, right? So he was on the phone. So he was talking. So I noticed he had an accent. So this time I picked up on it. I was like, okay. I was like, he's from the Caribbean. So I had went over there, you know, to help him. And I was like, you need help with something? So he was like, yeah, I'm looking for something. I don't know where he was trying to go at, but you know, when I did my little scan and my analyze, my Caribbean meter was like, boop, 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 boop. He's Jamaican. You could just, I don't know, you could just tell like Caribbean people by how they dress. Like Caribbean people from a foreign, you could tell how they dress, like, you know, that they wasn't born here. So I was like, you know, picking them out of outfit or whatever. So I was like, you're Jamaican? Why, y'all? Like, when I tell y'all I be playing with people, like, and I don't mean like no harm, but I'm just like a playful person. So I had asked him, I was like, yeah, Jamaican. So he had said, yeah, whatever. So I was like, oh, what part you're from? So you so y'all, I'm just talking. Wow, I need to stop because I'm cracking myself up. All right, so yo, I asked him like what, like where he's from and all this stuff. So he's like, oh, you Jamaican? You know, basically he asked me, am I Jamaican? So I'm like, yeah. He like, what part you from? Yo, I'm like Portmore. Yo, I'm lying through my teeth. Cause I'm literally like, I'm just thinking like, yeah, we gonna talk or whatever. He gonna leave out the store, never to see the man again. So the one we kept talking, so he was like, well, like, let me take you out. So usually, y'all, I did not used to go out with people that I used to work, because one, they knew where I worked at. That's like, no. But I was having literally so much fun that I was like, you know what? Sure. Let's go hang out. I'm like, what's your name? So he was like, my name Omar. So he told me his name was Omar. So I'm like, all right, cool. We exchanged numbers or whatever. So I was like, all right, well, you know, we'll link up one of these days. Now, mind you, I probably was like 18 or 19. I was somewhere around there. Like, I was young. So, let me see. Yeah, I was probably even like a sophomore or junior. So I was around like 18 or 19. So I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So of course we started texting and this and that. So he was like, oh, well, you know, I'm like not really from here. He was like, I just came here, you know, not too long ago. He was like, so you're going to have to tell me like what, you know, restaurant or whatever to go to. So I was like, it's the first date. It's a link up. Like, it wasn't given all that. So I was like, okay, cool. We could just go to Fridays or whatever. So, I don't know, but I mean, these kids nowadays is rich. They be going to Ruth Chris and all that. But, you know, back when I was in college and all that stuff, you know, little Fridays, little Applebee's, you know, that was the move, you know, to go to was Fridays at Applebee's. So I told him, I was like, all right. I was like, well, we set a date and time. I was like, okay, this date and time, we gonna meet at Friday. So he was like, can I pick you up? And I was like, yeah, no, you can't. I was like, I'll drive my own car and I'll meet you there. So, listen, y'all. Oh, my goodness. I got help. My bad, y'all. All right, so we get the day come for us to go out, whatever. So, I meet him out at the restaurant. So, he pull up and it's like loud, infinity, and all this stuff. So, the restaurant that we went to was kind of like, I mean, it wasn't like far. I probably should have picked someplace that was far, because when he got out, it was straight embarrassing. I was like, it was giving Jamaica. He had on like some lugs shoes, this like bright Puma button-up shirt with a fitted head to match, and like the jeans with the stitching that was the same color of it. And I was like, yo, why? I was like, why? Then I was like, you know what? I said, if any of my friends see me out, I'm gonna just tell them like he just literally just got off the plane from Jamaica. Like, I couldn't take it. So I was like, okay, hurry up, because we gotta hurry up and go in the restaurant. So of course he's like, he don't know what to eat, because I mean, you know, he's an islander. They don't really be, you know, too familiar with the type of food that we have. So we sit down. I probably should have told y'all what he looked like. Let me tell y'all what he looked like. He was really tall. He wasn't slim. He was like, you know, average sized. He was really dark skinned, but he had these like extremely pink lips. Like, the lips looked like they belong on me and not on him, but it was fine, right? So, did he have a bald head? He might have had a bald head. I really don't remember. Like, we only went out twice. Well, I only seen him twice. Like, on my own accord, seen him twice. But yeah, anyway. So we get to the restaurant or whatever. We sit down. So we get, our waiter comes up. So the waiter comes up like, how y'all doing? How can I help you? So the waiter, it's a guy. So if y'all ain't know, it's a guy. So I'm like, because I'm already like, please do not let this man get the going off. And I just was hoping that he had kept his cool, because I'm like, the last thing I wanted was for him to be like, you know, just going off on some bam, bam, bam. Y'all know how they can be. I was like, oh gosh. I was like, can my day be getting like any worse right now? So the way to come over, he's like, yeah, how can I help y'all? What y'all want to drink? So I was just like, you know, you give me a Sprite. So I was asking him, I was like, well, you know, what you want? He was like, just order me something. I was like, do you drink soda? He was like, no. I was like, do you drink alcohol? He was like, no. I was like, y'all have any like fruit juice or like anything? So the waiter was like, He was like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. What's your name, sweetheart? I'm going to go ahead and make you a drink. I'll make you something special from the bar. So I'm looking like, well, what about me? He was like, girl, bring your Sprite back. So I was like, okay. So while he's gone making him this special drink, right? Me and him talking, we getting to know each other and all this stuff, right? So I told him, I was like, you know I'm playing. I was like, I'm not Jamaican, right? So he was like, yeah. He was like, I figured you were just playing around. He was like, cause you sound too American to be Jamaican. So I was like, how you know I ain't come here when I was little? And he was like, no. He was like, I already know. He was like, but no. He was like, it's cool. He was like, you know, we was laughing while I was talking. So I was like, well, what you want to eat? So he just kept flipping the menu, kept flicking the menu. He was like, he was like, I just don't know what to order. So I was like, well, like, what do you like? So I knew that this date was not about to be like super long. I had just got my usual. When I go to certain restaurants like Fridays and like Applebee's, if I must, I don't eat there now, but if I must, when I went, I would get the same thing. I would get the little appetizer with the buffalo wings, mozzarella sticks, and potato skins. That's good enough for me. I don't do Friday's menu and all that. That was good enough for me. So I was like, but look, I was like, that's what I'm getting. I was like, you want something similar? And he was like, no. He was like, I don't eat cheese. He was just saying all this stuff he don't eat. He don't eat cheese. He don't eat red sauce. He don't eat white sauce. I was like, do you want a salad? Like, what do you want to eat? So as we're talking, I'm trying to figure out what he wants to eat. The waiter comes back. So, I mean, that thing is switching because he sees something that he like. He wants Mr. Omar. And he all like, yo, hold on, wait, I gotta come. He all like, this the drink. He's like, and here you go. I made this for you. I put some strawberries and I cut this up just for you. And I'm looking like, I mean, the guy was, I was like, is you on a date with him or you on a date with me? Like, so they was just doing a whole lot. To the point where he was like, oh yeah, he was like, oh, where's that accent I heard from? And I was just like, yo, it was getting very uncomfortable at the table. Like the flirting that the waiter was doing was getting very uncomfortable at the table. So he's like, yeah, I spent some time down in Jamaica and I did this and that. And he like, oh, like, I mean, he was just going on and on and on and on and on. To the point, y'all, wait. He grabbed a seat, honey, and he sat down like he was the third person. Well, actually, at this point, I was the third wheel on a date. Them two was on a date. And I was merely just sitting there because, I mean, he had like just totally taken over my date. So then he was asking him like, you know, what he recommend on the menu. So he was like, you know, I already eat food from here. So he was like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm going to go to the back and I'm going to create you something special. So I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is going on here? Like, it was getting very, very weird. So I was like, I'm great. Like, do you like men? Because I was gonna ask him, like, do you like men? Are you into men? Because if you into men, then I could leave and y'all two could do your thing. Like, it was like, when I tell you, it was so strange and very uncomfortable. I was like, wow. I was just sitting there and just like, wow. So, yo, we sat and we was chatting a little bit. The waiter comes back, honey, but this time he comes to deliver the goods. When I tell you he was on Friday's secret menu, that thing came back with his plate. He was like, I created this just for you. I call this the Omar special. Y'all, why he put a napkin down? And I'm gonna show y'all. He wrote a napkin where he traced Omar with all these colors on it. Y'all, he was trying to steal my date. So y'all, he put all these colors on it. And I tell you, the food that he made him look actually really good. And I was, you know, kind of mad that he didn't offer me that. Like, I'm like, he made him fresh squeezed juice. And I think he got him, like, he made him some, like, butter garlic rice with shrimp skewers. It was like grilled shrimp skewers. It was definitely something that Fridays didn't sell. So I was just trying to figure out, like, what was going on. So we sat and, like, we sat there, but while we're sitting there eating and talking, the waiter is just sitting at the table next to us watching him eat the food. So I was like, did he, like, why are you sitting here watching him eat the food like he's not on a date? So he's like, oh, how long y'all been together? I was like, sir, this is our first date. Like, and you're doing a bit much. Like, ma'am can't even talk because you're sitting right here. He was enjoying himself a little bit too much. I was like, did y'all want to exchange numbers? Like, cause what? Yo, so literally, like, I couldn't wait for this date to be over because I was just like, it was just giving cringe. So we finally left. So he was like, all right, well, you need me to walk you to your car? I was like, yeah, that would be the proper thing to do, for me to walk me to my car. So I walked to my car, right? Then he comes and pulls around. I think he had like an Infinity or something. It was like a race car. So of course he's revving the engine up, and I was like, okay, like, you're doing a bit much. You're doing a bit much, sir. Relax. So after that, I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, you know, everything was cool, but I was like, that was a bit uncomfortable. So he was like, okay, cool. Like, you know, when can I see you again? So I was like, well, I'm kind of busy. I was working and in school. So, you know, I was like, well, look, I'm kind of busy. I work and go to school. So he was like, well, cool. He was like, we can just, like, go, like, get some ice cream or something. He was like, you know, I'm not trying to take up too much of your time. Like, I just want to see you again. So he was like, well, where you live at? I was like, no. I was like, where you live at? I was like, and I can just, you know, find a spot somewhere nearby. I can find a little ice cream parlor. So he told me where he lived at. So where he lived was like familiar, like a familiar area for me, because like my cousins and stuff live around there. So it was a mall there, and then it actually was like, it was an Italian, y'all know what Rita's Italian ice is, so it was a Rita's nearby. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna meet you at the mall. I said, and then we can go to Rita's, period. I was like, you ain't got know where I live at, I ain't got know where you live at, because it wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. So I honestly, like, you know, whatever. So after I got off of work, I was working day shift, like 7 to 3. So I drove all the way out to the mall, which, mind you, the mall was out of my way, but I didn't mind. So I was like, okay. So I drove to the mall or whatever. So when we get to the mall, he was like, he got out of his car, and he was like, well, I was like, what you want to get in my car? I was like, can I drive over there? I was like, or like what you want to do? So when he pulled up, y'all, he pulled up in another car. So I was like, okay. I'm like, I was like, you have more than one car? He was like, yeah. But he was like, oh, he was like, follow me over to my friend's house. So I got in my car, drove to his friend's house. So we got to his friend's house. I was like, what? So he was like, oh, get in this car with me. And I was like, I'm not getting in no car with you. I was like, cause why you keep jumping to all these different cars? I'm like, what's going on? He was like, he was like, you know, he was like, it ain't nothing. He was like, get in the car and we gonna go get ice cream or whatever. Yo, I do not get in cars with people. Let me tell y'all what happened first, then I'm gonna tell you why. So I finally got in the car against my better judgment. I was like, okay. So while we in the car, he's like, oh, I gotta make a stop here. He was like, what he said? He said he had to make a stop because he had to go get his aunt. He said he had to go get his aunt some food. So I was like, okay. I'm like, but the ice cream shop right here. I was like, it don't take you that long to eat ice cream. I was like, you can eat ice cream, then go pick up your aunt food. So that way, you know, you can go do what you gotta do, and I can go home and do what I have to do. So he is driving past, like way past the ice cream place. I'm like, hold up. I'm like, hold on. What you doing? What you doing? Where you going at? Where you going? He's like, oh, she wants something. It's a restaurant here called Island Cuisine. He was like, oh, she want me to pick up her food from Island Cuisine. Then I gotta take it to her. So I was like, do your aunt drive off? He was like, yeah. I was like, so why didn't she just get her own food? So it was just, I was getting ready to tussle. Because I'm like, why are you taking me all over the place? I didn't sign up for this. I signed up for ice cream. What are you doing? So I'm already kind of like this. So while we in the car, he get the rubbing on me. And I was like, sir, don't be rubbing on my legs. So, y'all, he driving off fast, weaving in and out of traffic. So in my head, I'm like, yo. I'm like, I know you're stupid tail. I'm like, you should have never got in this car. You went against your better judgment. Getting in the car. I'm like, now he is flipping in and out of traffic. I'm like, so if you gotta jump out this car or jump in the thing, you're gonna get tore up if you try to jump out of a moving car, stupid. So this all the stuff that's running through my head. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, I'm gonna have to try to, when he slow down, I'm gonna have to try to drop and roll. I'm like, I'm gonna have to try to stop, drop and roll out the car. So luckily he did. He was just going to the restaurant. So when he got in the restaurant, I was like, I'm texting my friend. I'm like, yeah, look, this the kind of car I'm in, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, look, if him, I'm going to tell him to take me back to my vehicle. If him take me back to my vehicle, then yeah. So he come out, right? So when he come out, he's like, oh, my aunt lived like 20 minutes out here. So I'm like, the story is not storying. So I'm like, again, tell me again why your aunt couldn't get her own food. So then he's getting all, like, his phone is getting blown up. Like, blah, blah, blah. Blown up, blown up, blown up, blown up. To the point, I'm like, who is that blowing up your phone? And he like, oh, it's just my aunt. I was like, your aunt blowing up your phone like that for oxtails? No, sir. I'm like, that is not your aunt. I'm like, that's not your aunt. I was like, you're lying. I'm like, come on now, that's not your aunt. So y'all, we pulled into like this, I guess it was like a townhouse type of thing. So he parked, like, let's say up here. And then I see him walk all the way down the thing with the food. So I'm already like this. So I'm looking with my head on a swivel because I'm like, first of all, this man is Jamaican. And I'm like, ain't no Jamaican lady about to come. Bah, 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 bah. What Spice said, Black China took Kylie from what? Kylie Jenner took Tiger from what? I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of that. So I'm looking around. Okay, so a Jamaican lady come bang me in the head with a pen. So I'm looking like, what's going on? So finally, he comes back in the car. So when he come back in the car, he got like a bag full of mail. So he was like, I gotta go make another stop. I gotta take something to my sister. I'm like, listen, I ain't come with you to be on no delivery. Mind you, we never got the ice cream. I was like, look, I didn't come to be riding all around while you doing all these deliveries for all your family members that could probably get the stuff themselves. He was like, no worries, man. No worries, man. It just take a minute. It's just gonna take a minute. So I'm like, yo, take me back to my car. I was like, at this point, like, you're done. This is done and over with. I don't have time for this because you're doing too much. I was like, take me back to my car. He was like, well, let me get this. Let me get this. She really need this. She's sick. Let me get this. So I went to the store. I don't know why, but something was like, open up the bag of mail. Because I think, number one, like, I wanted to see, because I had a feeling. I was like, this is not his aunt. I'm like, he probably just took his girlfriend something to eat. There probably was his girlfriend and he was taking something to eat too. Because, yeah, don't sleep. I was like, that probably was his girlfriend. So, y'all, I pulled up the plastic bag, and it was in a market bag too. So I'm like, he can use this in my address. So I was like, if he was picking up mail from the old house, I was like, let me get the skinny on this guy, right? So I pick up the mail. The mail is like Rohan, I'm gonna say Johnson, like Rohan Johnson. I'm like, this man told me his name was Omar. So the thing like Rohan or Orlando Johnson, so I'm looking through it because I'm like, maybe it's not his. But all of it got the same name on it. All of it got Rohan on it. So I'm like, So I put it back, slide it back right there. So I was like, what's your name? He was like, Omar. I was like, no, what's your real name? He was like, Omar, what do you mean, what's my real name? I was like, yeah, like, what's your real name? Your government name, what's your real name? So he was looking, and then he looked at the bag, and then he looked at me, and then he looked at the bag, and then he looked at me. What's your name, sir? So I was like, oh, your name not Rohan? He was like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's my name, but everybody called me Omar. But I was like, where you get Omar from? I said, if it's like your name is Rohan Orlando, where's Omar coming in? I was like, why you all lying? Then you all trying to ride me all around town. I was like, take me back to my car, please, thank you. I was like, cause you're lie, you do, that was one too many lies for me. Like, no. So he takes me back to my car, right? So I get out. I was like, all right, bye. He was like, so you just gonna leave? You just gonna leave like that? I was like, yeah, like, I was like, come on. Like, you don't got, you lied about your name. I was like, if you lie about your name, you'll lie about anything. And like my grandma said, if you're a lie, you're steal. Period. So once we got back to my car, whatever, I was like, yeah, like, I'm leaving. So he was like, just give me a hug, give me a hug. So I was like, all right, because he was getting on there. So I was like, okay. So I would have given him a hug. And he, like choked me almost. I was like, let me go. Let me go. What are you doing? And he was like, stop acting like that. I was like, whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he was like, just trying to like kiss all on me. And I was like, yo, no. So finally, when I pushed him off, I was like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you? I was like, man, you are not on that level. So I was like, you know what? I was like, lose my number. That's what you can do. Y'all, before I even had the chance to pull out the parking lot, my phone, ring, he busted my phone down. So I'm hitting decline. Mind you, he can see my car. So when I pull out, he pulled out behind me. I made a right. He made a right. Now, I know that he ain't lived this way because he lived out in the county. The way I was going towards the city. So I make another right, he make another right. So I'm like, I know he not following me. So I speed up, he speed up. Now mind you, listen y'all, back then I had me a little Chevy, little Malibu. And he was driving the Infinity. But y'all, let me tell you something, I'm a driver. So I get on the highway. He came on the highway. So I said, oh, you want to play highway games, baby? Oh, you want to play highway games, baby? So we driving. I'm like, he like, I'm like, he was like, I was like, oh shit. I said, I'm gonna have to pull a fast one. So I was like, okay, cool. So I'm in and out, y'all. I'm pop. And he on me. So I get off on the exit. But I knew the little back road. So I was like, Ben, he said he wasn't from here. I was like, hell no, the little back road. So the exit I got off was where one of my cousins live at. So I spent the bend, bust a left, bust a right. I straight turned the car off, flipped the lights off, put the seat back. I was like, yeah, he not going to see me. So I ended up losing him, right? So he kept calling my phone. I blocked him at this point. So then, I went back to work. Well, while I was in the back taking my break, one of my coworkers, they like, hey, that Jamaican boy out there. I'm like, what Jamaican boy? They was like, you know that one that you met in the store the other day when you was playing around? I was like, he out there. They was like, yeah, he said, come here. I was like, tell him I'm not here. Y'all, while he was standing at the door, so of course, well, y'all don't know. I mean, unless y'all work in the mall. But you know, like, how is the door where the employees go, like, in the back of the stock room? So we had a door, but it looked like it was opening when you could go towards either side. And then, like, it was another wall, which behind the wall was the actual stock room. So I was standing, like, right behind the wall because I was taking my break in the back. I was like, tell him I'm not here. So, y'all, while he was like, I can hear you. He was like, I can hear you. I was like, yo. I was like, tell him I'm not here about it. Leave me alone. I was like, I'm not here. Y'all, while he went and sat down, so the women's section was in the back closest to like the stock room. So we had like chairs. Baby, they said he had him a seat. Okay? They said he had a seat. They was like, he's waiting for you. I said, what you mean? They said he is back here sitting in the women's section. So once you come off your break, he out here. So you might as well just come out now. I was like, yo. I said, I know y'all are lying. They was like, no, he is sitting right out here. So I was like, all right. So I walked out there. So I'm looking like, do anybody else need help? So he walked up to me. He was like, so you're not going to talk to me? I was like, we don't have nothing to talk about. I was like, Omar, Rohan, whatever your name is. No, like, we don't have anything to talk about. He was like, well, I apologize. And you didn't even want to take my call. You act like I was just so disgusting to you. So disgusting to you. And I was like, sir, you just don't walk up and putting your lips on nobody. I don't know you. What? No. So I was like, and furthermore, I was like, if I didn't answer my phone, like, what would possess you to come to my job? Y'all, he went off on me. He was like, this is a public place. I can come wherever I want. Y'all, he just started going off on me. So I was like, to divert the attention, because you're not going to yell. So I was just like, whoop, whoop. I went right back in the stock room. I was like, y'all, tell him to leave. So one of my other coworkers, they was like, yo, go ahead. Like, get up out of here. They was like, get up out of here. So after that, I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna work this shift. I was like, you know what? I had to sprinkle my schedule a little bit. I was like, no, like, let me do some mornings. Let me do, you know, couple little weekends, little different little shifts or whatever. So I'm at school one day. And my school, I went to Coppin, which is like across the street from the mall. So one of my coworkers texted me. They like, yo, that boy up here looking for you. They like, what you did to him? Because he is looking for you. I was like, what you mean he looking for me? They was like, he came up here and asked us, was you here? I was like, well, what y'all tell him? I was like, I hope you ain't give him my schedule to tell him when I was going to be back. They was like, no, of course not. What? Sir, why? Why is you at my job again? I was like, he just came the other day and caused a scene, so why is he back? So they was like, well, look, they was like, I'm just giving you the heads up because you come to work later on the night. They was like, so we like, you know, that he stopped by. So he kept calling. So I had this little app on my phone where it would tell, like, the person would be blocked, but you could still see that they was calling, or you could still see their messages. Like, the messages would come, but it would let you know, like, 1 block message, 2 block message, or whatever. So I could see, like, what he was texting and all this stuff. So he just kept texting, kept calling, like, why you won't talk to me? Why you won't see me? That was a misunderstanding, and this and that, and this and that. So finally, I got sick of him, like, kept texting me. Started texting him back. I was like, look, leave me, what you call, alone. Like, please leave me alone. Yo. One day, I'm walking across my college campus, going to the parking lot. So, we got, like, it's like the MTA mobility. It's like these little buses. It's not like a big, like, public transit bus, but it's like where they take, like, disabled people on, like, a little tiny bus or whatever. But it's through, like, the MTA. So, I'm trying to cross the campus, so laughing the caca and going to my car. MTA transit bus pull up because I guess it was a handicapped student. I'm walking. All I hear, the horn is going off. So I'm like, the bus is stopped. So I'm like, why is the horn? I turn. Who driving the the little bus thingy? Nobody but Omar / Rohan. He hollering out the window. He like, yeah, girl. That I'm like, no. I'm like, now he know where I go to school. What? Then the phone calls and stuff start back up. He's back calling. I was like, yo, Omar, leave me. Like, sir, like, I don't know how many more times to tell you to leave me alone. It had gotten to the point where, yo, I had quit the job at the mall because they kept saying he kept coming up there. Now I'm like, luckily we kept missing each other, but I was just like, he know where I go to school at. He know where I work at, and like he said, it's a mall. You can't stop me from coming to the mall. So I was like, and it wasn't necessary to like get the police involved. It was just like, it was just giving like, leave me alone. But I was just like, yo, I quit the job at the mall. So while I was at my other job, one of my coworkers, they was like, yo, y'all, you know that boy still be coming up here looking for you. And it's so funny. What made me tell this story, y'all, was one of my coworkers, I didn't think he lying, but he was like, yo, he was like, that Jamaican boy still be coming up that store looking for you. I was like, you lying. I'm like, cause I haven't worked there in God knows when. Like, I know it's been over 10 years. I was like, it's no way he keep coming up there. And if he do keep coming up there, he's a fool. One thing, but I do hope he don't never come in as a patient, because I can't. I'm not gonna be able to deal with it. But y'all, that was like, it was just so crazy. Y'all, be careful who you meet, and that probably was my karma for messing with people, because I always be just playing around too much. So now, y'all, I just leave people alone. I leave people alone because I was like, you know, that backfired on me, sitting there playing, acting like I was Spice, like I was the Beijing Spice. So I couldn't deal with it. But y'all, if anybody is dating or have any like date horror stories, drop it down in the comments. But also, I think I'm gonna do like a dating tip when y'all do people, because yo, that's like one of my sticklers is I'm not getting in your vehicle. I'm not getting in your vehicle at all, because no. And if I do get in your vehicle, I'm gonna have to check, make sure I could get out. Okay, make sure the windows is coming up and down, okay, in case I have to jump out. So let me know if y'all want me to do a dating series or something to tell y'all like some dating tips and what to do. Y'all know I just be trying to protect the people and protect myself. So if y'all want to know what I'm have going on and all that, let me know. Drop down in the comments, leave me a comment. And yeah, I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye.